Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Andrew Holochak, and I'd like to say something about the motivation for this webpage. Thomas Jefferson was clear that Republican government, what we would today call a representative democracy, was not without its flaws. The most notable flaw was that government by the people, with representatives who are supposed to be virtuous and attentive to the needs of the people, suffered from its own serious flaw, that of turbulence. Turbulence could be large, turbulence could be small. Small turbulence, he noted, consists of local rebellions against perceived governmental intrusions in the life of people. And the aim, of course, was justice. It was aimed at reminding elected officials that their job was to preserve the rights of the citizenry and act on behalf of the interests of the citizenry. Jefferson writes to James Madison on January 30, 1787, I quote, "I hold that a little rebellion now and then is a good thing and as necessary in the political world as storms in the physical," end of quote. Large turbulence for Jefferson, as manifest in his Declaration of Independence, was a matter of overthrowing a government that was backsliding. Jefferson states in his Declaration of Independence, "When a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them, i.e. the people, under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for the future security." Now, the scenario Jefferson describes in his declaration is the scenario that currently, I think, obtains at Jefferson's Monticello and has obtained there for approximately 2 decades. Since the 1998 DNA study, which presumed to show that Thomas Jefferson was likely the father of at least one, perhaps all of Sally Hemings' 6 children, the Thomas Jefferson Foundation offered its own radical spin on the findings based on insubstantial evidence. They claim now that Thomas Jefferson is the father of all of Sally Hemings' children. The qualifiers that Jefferson is likely or very likely to be the father of Eston Hemings and others, are gone. Doubt they've made clear in what I call a manifesto on June 16, 2018 is no longer feasible. On that date, the foundation, without anyone's consent, but on account of their own political leanings, and these leanings are political, officially made law that spin in a public ceremony in honor of Sally Hemings titled The Life of Sally Hemings, slave of Monticello, about whom almost nothing is known, and thus, in my estimation, a very strange choice for an exhibit. If you know next to nothing about someone, why would you have an exhibit? So that would pique my curiosity. It was a decision, however, that had nothing to do with the truth of Thomas Jefferson, the man, or the facts concerning his life. On that fateful day, the foundation overstepped the grounds of above-board history. On that fateful day, the foundation used its political power to move forward with a political agenda. On that fateful day, the foundation signed into law a decision with seismic consequences, strangely enough, which might even prove to be their own undoing. The climate at Monticello on June 16, 2018 changed. Months prior, when they formally announced they were building a room for Sally Hemings, they pledged that there was no political posturing. In other words, that the room was not about establishing Jefferson's paternity. They claimed that was pretty obvious. Yet with the room officially open, they had a change of mind. Jefferson, they now declare, is the father of all of Sally Hemings' children. There is no need for any further debate. They have decided for us the issue. That sea change ought to be insufferable to anyone who believes history is about truth. There needs to be open debate in an effort to arrive at the truth concerning Jefferson's paternity. The reason for that is that in their, what I call their manifesto, they list 10 reasons for that indict Jefferson and paternity of Eston Hemings and the rest of Sally Hemings' children. And these are the same reasons that were listed back in 2000 when they formed a committee to investigate Jefferson's paternity. In short, there's no new evidence, but the evidence at the time in 2000 was not compelling enough for them to state Jefferson was the father of all 6. All of a sudden now, somehow mysteriously, it is. Jefferson is the father. There not only needs, we need to hold the Thomas Jefferson Foundation accountable for their political posturing, for them deciding, taking it on themselves to decide who was Thomas Jefferson and what's going to be his fate, what's going to be his legacy. The fact of the matter, many people in the foundation are not even qualified to have a vote, and yes, they do. Okay, there also needs to be open debate. The issue of Jefferson's paternity is wide open. I have written on it. Drew Hyland, Cynthia Burton, Robert Turner has the Scholars Commission report. These are all excellent books, and all books that I presume are going to soon be banned from the library at Monticello, since the foundation has decided for us that Thomas Jefferson was the father of all Sally Hemings' children. What about these arguments that are contained in these books that are substantial and weighty? They simply ignore them. They can make a decision on their own. They can decide for us. And any trip hereafter to Monticello is simply about Jefferson and his relationship with Sally Hemings as the new room and the new title, The Life of Sally Hemings indicates, displayed. Now, we even need to discuss the issue of Thomas Jefferson's avowed hypocrisy and racism. That's not allowed in the contemporary, dark, gloomy, acherontic climate at the foundation. There needs to be debate on these issues, and not closed-mindedness. This has become a sort of totalitarian climate at Monticello, and that needs to change. So two things I think I want to stimulate. I want to stimulate discussion on cleaning house at Monticello, that the president, Leslie Green Bowman, needs to be removed, as well as the archaeologist who has argued so forcefully for Jefferson's paternity, Fraser Neiman, and their ilk, and any sycophants who just go along with their lead without doing any thinking for themselves. So we need to clean house and bring in new members to the foundation who are open and willing to open to discussion on Jefferson's paternity and on all aspects of Jefferson's life. That's not to say we need to remove consideration of all the fine research that's being done on slavery at Monticello. We continue to do that. But the aim of Monticello, the aim of the foundation, should be Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Jefferson's life, of which slavery is a part. That has gone. If you go to Monticello, it seems to be all about Sally Hemings these days. Okay, more than that, so we need, the webpage is about stimulating discussion on riddance of some of these members from the foundation and bringing in people with diverse and different opinions, and allowing, once again, free discussion on the issues that are pertinent to Jefferson's life. So please, use this webpage, cite, post. You can say whatever you want. You can disagree with the claims that I'm making, with the sort of open discussion. But use this essay, use this webpage as a format, as a vehicle to stimulate further discussion. We'd like to hear what you think on this issue. Is the Thomas Jefferson Foundation being fair? Is their agenda politically driven? Are they throwing Thomas Jefferson, the person, under the bus and moving forward with their political agenda? These are issues that need and warrant further discussion. That's what this webpage is about. Thank you very much for your time.